Mug Smashers completed it, mate. Look. Yes, it is Mug Smashers, an Italian stroke English arcade game. Have we ever had that before? Wow. Yes, a beat-em-up, a scrolling beat-em-up of questionable art style and quality, but it's fine. I've played worse beat-em-ups, let me put it like that. It's by two companies that joined together, 3D Games England and Electronic Devices Italy. Now, 3D Games England, as far as I can tell via Moby Games, this was their only game. It is not in 3D. Electronic Devices Italy did two other games called Steel Force and Fantasyland. And so yes, that is Mug Smashers. That is where it comes from. It's obviously trying to piggyback onto the scrolling beat 'em up genre. 1990, it would have been out after Final Fight. It does not look as good as Final Fight. Look at those big simian arms on both those characters. Set in San Francisco, the plot is that the police officer Sheila has been kidnapped by drug dealer Mad Dog in San Francisco, and Miles and Axel have to head out to rescue her by punching chaps in the chops. Now, Mug Smashers, obviously meaning someone's face. So why it's set in San Francisco, I'm not so sure. It should probably be set in London and should have Bricktop in it. He's sort of got a bricky top. Maybe this is the early adventures of Bricktop from Snatch, I don't know. Anyway, so this is the RetroTech 120p challenge, and as you well know if you've been watching this far over the last 6 months or so, or indeed if you're a contestant in it, if you are, hello, hope you do worse than me, you prick. This is basically where you get 2 credits to see how far you can get. You can practice as much as you like, but your first recorded run is your run. Submit that bastard when you videoed it. See how I picked up a cross on there? Very little nutritional value apparently. I didn't put a lot of health back on the old life bar there. So yes, what a game. Look at this. There's an Oscar there. Someone's just left an Oscar in the middle of the road. I've picked it up. I don't know. I wonder who that is. Whose Oscar's been left on the streets. Maybe someone who's now... Maybe it's that tramp there. Maybe it's that tramp in the background. Maybe that's like Dustin Hoffman or someone. Also, someone's just left a revolver in the middle of the road. That's America. That's always, by the way, I do like a scrolling beat-em-up that has guns in it. Although there is a very tragic thing towards, well, at the end of my run, because I am recording the audio afterwards, which is incredible, really, because I'm doing a really bad job of it so far. This was suggested today by Sean, I think. If it's not Sean, I apologise. I think it was Sean, whose name came up. Oh no, it might have been Paul Bennett. So sorry, Sean. I didn't mean to bring your name into this. But you know what? I've never heard of this game, and next video I do about obscure arcade games, this is going the hell on there. Particularly, I think it's funny that one of the makers of the game was 3D Games England, and they didn't make any other games. They didn't get round to doing the 3D bits. But yeah, the art style to this game is... I'm just trying to think of a way to describe it. It's like really bad Super Nintendo scrolling beat 'em up. It's got that sort of colour scheme. I swear, like I've seen a game like this. I think it might have been one of the Double Dragons. There was like a Super Double Dragon. It's got that kind of colour scheme to it, but it looks much worse. But actually, it doesn't play terribly. And I know that sounds incredible from the look of it, but it's actually all right to play. It's very limited in its movesets. It's not even up there with like the likes of the Konami beat 'em ups or anything like that. But it feels okay. There's weapons everywhere. I mean, it's artistically, it's terrible. It's terrible. I mean, look at the size of this level 1 boss here. He's sort of like a regular sized sprite. Looks a bit like Billy Lee or someone like that, but with a mullet. But he's he's a weird-looking dude. Now, the key to this boss, which I do actually screw up in a minute, is that as soon as he gets knocked down, he will do a flying kick when he gets up. So you just need to kind of move up and down to avoid his assault. And unfortunately there, he beat me up. That one punch, I could have got the energy back, because this next bit is the bonus stage. And the idea is that you punch, it's like one of those fairground things, you punch that and you get your energy back. And of course, I had a full energy bar because I lost a life. So, sucks to be me. So yeah, anyway, it was only suggested this afternoon or this morning or whatever, and I thought, well, there's Carol Vorderman there, she's been kidnapped. That Sheila definitely looks like Carol Vorderman, but dressed as Annika Rice. So yeah, it was only sort of suggested this morning, and I'd never heard of it before today, so I decided what I'm going to do, I'm going to have one practice run, and then I'm going to go straight in it, because I do like to get one of these in early, I think. I like to be the pace setter. Also, it gives me the rest of the week to do my next video. And you know what? I think I do all right in this. I mean, I don't know how everyone else will do. It's not a particularly taxing beat 'em up as such. It's, you know, it's got some annoying bits. Like the guy with the knife in this, you will find, is the guy that takes most of your energy away. He's a bit of a dick. There's one thing I don't like here, which is, I think, one of my big bugbears about games, particularly scrolling beat-em-ups and things, is when environmental hazards don't damage the enemy. I think you really need to like, they just sort of drift through the spikes, but I think you need, with these sort of games, to have a sort of an option to punch an enemy into an environmental hazard. One of my favourite things in the first Streets of Rage game was that lift level where you could throw people off, and it was almost like a wrestling Royal Rumble or something. He's the knife guy. What a dick bag. There's I don't know what these guys are doing. They're sort of half-assed ninjas. They've gone, well, you know, I couldn't be bothered to go to the fancy dress shop, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put some overalls on. Oh, that was a duck, wasn't it? And you know what that means? It's time, there's a blunderbuster, for my animal genital fact of the week. And that is, ducks are amongst the best endowed in terms of ratio of body to member of all vertebrates. An Argentine lake duck has a member 4 inches longer than its body. I mean, it's pretty impressive, isn't it? But there is a darker side to why that is. The reason is that ducks, they keep evolving their penises because there is a history, and I'm talking about an evolutionary history, first credit down by the way, of duck gang rape. Male ducks have a lot of rape in them, and lady ducks have evolved so that their vaginas combat this. However, male ducks have countered that evolution, and so you end up with these sort of very twisty, turny duck genitalia. And in this sort of biological war, neither of them is winning. Male ducks just need to kind of cool that off a bit, because lady ducks should not have to put keys in between their wings when they're walking home. So if you're wondering why you don't see male ducks wandering around like packing heat, it's because these penises only grow during mating season. The rest of the time is 10 times smaller and stored in the duck's body. So there you go. There is a very awkward and very descriptive, but I think possibly our most informative animal genital fact yet. And I talked all over the weird special needs guy at the base of the lift, the whole lift scene there, the blunderbuss. I talked about genitals all during that time. So if you're an animal genital fact fan, you owe me big for this one. I like the way you can hit them with the stool though. There, it's very cool. So yes. Anyway, Mug Smashers then. So the plot line of this, which we haven't really covered, I don't think, is that the girl looks like Carol Vorderman but dressed as Annika Rice is called Sheila, and she's been kidnapped by a drug dealer called Mad Dog, who was the guy you saw in the intro looked like Kingpin from Daredevil. I did cover this, didn't I? So I'm having a waffle already. And I could have bought, actually, I'm thinking about it, it's cola. Good old cola always restores strength in most video games. I think there's another duck in this box. There's a large crate to keep a duck in, but you know what? If they're getting up to all that rapey behaviour, then they deserve to be locked in crates. There he is, little rapey bastard. I'm coming up to the second level boss now. There's one of the knifey dickheads. So keep an eye out for him. The first guy, the first level boss was called Big Man. This guy has got an equally descriptive name, for he is called Red Man. And the reason he's called Red Man will soon become abundantly clear. Here's Red Man. Can you guess why he's called Red Man? Yes, that's right. He released rap albums in the early 2000s. Again, another terrible sprite design. He's all sort of wonky. I'm down to my last life here, by the way, as I battle him in this bar. This rooftop bar. Well, it's not rooftop bar, but it's a bar up a lift. There is what I find very strange, and I've always mentioned this when I play scrolling beat-em-ups, is the weird routes that our pro tags take to get to where they need to be. Why don't they just drive to the boss's house or the boss's office? There's always an office somewhere, and just go and kick his head in. Why do they have to walk, get trains and things like that? I mean, this one, our main character here he's gone into it's like a warehouse at the start of the level, and then he sort of goes up to sort of like a hotel bar in a lift, and you'll see in a minute that he then goes out of the hotel via a lift. So here's Axel, and this is the next bonus stage, and he's punching arcade machines, probably containing Mug Smasher, because it's not very good. It's, as I say, it's not. You try. It's one of those games where I look at it and I think, you know what, 3D Games England that never made a 3D game, and Electronic Devices Italy. I presume you've used Electronic Device Italy. You tried. You tried, and good work. You know, I couldn't make this. But you know what? You tried to make this, and you did make this. And whether it's any good or not, it doesn't matter. You've got an arcade game out that no one played, admittedly, but it is out. And it is better than Pit Fighter. So yeah, as I said, look, he sort of just, they went in that building for no reason. Axel went through that building for no reason at all. He should have carried on walking down the street. He didn't need to fight Red Man. I mean, maybe in plot terms, it's the fact that Red Man maybe knew where the next boss was, or something like that. Maybe there's just some hitherto unexplained trail that Axel is following to get to his sister. I believe she's supposed to be Sheila rather than a girlfriend. And look, here's some vengeance. However, look at the hand. he sort of doesn't hold the knife right. Again, another little shortcut taken by 3D Games England. Never made a 3D game, and Electronic Devices Italy there. There's Ben the bar behind them. More of the t-shirt ninjas and I don't know, workmen, train drivers from the 1800s. I found out to my peril. Here's a tip for anyone playing this: don't pick up anything that's got like a skull on it. It's silly. It's poisoned. You'll lose some health. Look at that, sticking it to the man. Road up, 2 right. I'm going to jump over that hole. So here is a great tragedy in the world of video games. Finally, after playing Double Dragon, after playing Crime Fighters and all those games, I finally find a scrolling beat 'em up with a machine gun, and I get overwhelmed before I can reach it. And it's all I've ever wanted to do in a scrolling beat 'em up is to pick up a machine gun and use it, because they never let you do that, apart from Punisher. I think Punisher lets you do it, and Punisher's great. So that's it. That is the end of my challenge. Please do join the Facebook group and play along with this challenge. You do get to play some odd stuff, and this game is a very odd stuff indeed. That's the RetroTech 120p challenge done for me for today. So I'll bid you adieu, and a K, thanks, and a bye.